today the largest institutional owner of single-family homes is Blackstone. Why? What companies are not affected by high interest rates? Companies that have enormous amounts of equity where any bank would be lining up to give them access to capital. Blackstone, BlackRock, private equity companies. Homebuilders have formed joint ventures with Blackstone. Homebuilders, their job is to sell homes. Well, if your job is to sell homes, but the Fed, who's controlling the interest rates, is trying to control for inflation and won't bring down interest rates, meaning that people can't buy homes, then who do they sell homes to? Well, the government gets involved and says, hey, I'm going to put Blackstone at this chair. I'm going to put the home builder at this chair. And why don't you guys talk about things that are interesting to you? So the home builder goes, hey, we like selling homes. We buy lumber. We don't want to collapse the lumber industry. We'll buy the wood. We'll build the homes. It'll keep people employed. We just need something from you. Well, we just want to build these subdivisions scattered across the United States, and we would love it if you might be interested in these subdivisions. And Blackstone goes, well, what do I know about buying subdivisions of homes? I buy skyscrapers and I buy apartment buildings and I buy equities. And the home builder goes, well, it's no different. You just buy all these properties from us. We'll sell it to you at a discount. And then you hire another company and rent out the homes. Everybody needs a home. What's the next best thing to owning? Just lease one. Lease one. And lock people out of what is called the American dream. And you're telling me that's not evil? Why is that not evil?
You described something that is just a symptom of a system that's been in place for 50 years. You got declining interest rates. That all seemed to be a good thing, right? Since the 1980s, interest rates were declining. Mm-hmm. And what was that doing? The assets are going up in value. How wonderful. The young people can't afford the assets. How terrible. Mm-hmm. Right? And so who's all of this good stuff benefiting?
Large corporations.
Well, large corporations, also older people, right? The older generations have done wonderfully with declining interest rates.
Now you're sounding like Scott Galloway. Now you're going Scott Galloway.
Absolutely, right? Yeah. And who is being harmed?
Young people.
Young men who are intentionally or unintentionally celibate.
Yeah.
What are they called? Incels. And this is some of this stuff, kind of like AI, is not in our control. Some of the stuff is going to happen.
Oh, it's in somebody's control. It's in somebody's control.
You're gonna
stop banging. Stop banging.
You're gonna live in this world.
You remind me of a 1930s dictator in Europe.
There's only so much control we have over some of these things. Who has it benefited? The old people. What do the old people have? All of the money. Who's that money going to go to? Their children and grandchildren. Who is it not going to go to? Poor people. They're fucked.
But listen, you're not arguing against what I'm saying. I'm saying that large institutional companies are now the landlords of all the land in America. It's a conspiracy. Yeah. It's a conspiracy to control.
Conspiracy is just a function of the environment we're in. Mm-hmm. They see an opportunity to buy assets that clearly, right, the majority of young people can't afford today.
Large investment companies, publicly traded, the illusion of you can own it. It just reminds you of the Terminator 2 movie. It's the people that control the world. Bill Gates, Sam Altman, all of these technocrats that you're talking about, they're the ones controlling it. And if you fight against the ocean current, what happens? You end up like that cat in Italy on his super yacht after he thought everything was coup d'etat with the government and everyone's dead.
You got to believe that the American empire, no different than the Habsburgs or anything else that's existed, or the Romans, right? It is aging. And aging empires are squeaky, and they have, there are some externalities, right? There are some side effects from aging empires.
But this is globalism is what I'm talking about. This is not an American empire thing. This is a conspiracy.
Don't get me started on globalism. I think globalism is wonderful. I love globalism.
Because you come from the Soviet Union.
No, I like going to another country, being able to have them understand what I'm saying, use the same currency as me, and have things in common instead of worrying about how different we are.
I get it, because you come from that world.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Where you can travel from Estonia to
shove
Siberia.
your nationalism up your ass is what I say.
Well, it's not nationalism. What I'm arguing is this global...
Montana, it's a real unique state. See, we're different than the people next to us in Indiana. No. And oh yeah, what does the US do? Does Montana produce anything? No, we subsidize Montana. How is that any different than what the EU is doing with the shitty places like Greece and Ireland and Spain?
Listen, my point is they're controlling home prices. They're controlling the interest rates. They're controlling the inventory. They will tell you next when you can drive. And that's it.
I understand how you feel.
You don't.